This is Michael Popok, and it's time for Legal AF After Dark. You know what else is going dark? The Mar-a-Lago trial against Donald Trump, the espionage case. It's simple. There's not a lot of moving parts. There's only 3 defendants along with Donald Trump. There's boxes and boxes of documents that he kept. We've seen the photos. Why isn't this case up for trial? Because it's being presided over by Judge Aileen Cannon. And she's just decided, well, I just can't get all the deadlines met, so why don't we just push the trial off until, how's never? Is never okay on everybody's schedule? We break it all down on Legal AF. Take a listen.
I mean, she basically said, we're putting the trial over indefinitely, forever, which is just beyond. Here, I'm going to pull up what her entry says. She essentially did a 5-page, the trial, the Mar-a-Lago documents case was set for trial for this month. But there's all these various hearings that she hasn't had and rulings that she hasn't done. And we all keep scratching our head saying, why does she still have this on the calendar for a trial this month when everybody knows that it can't possibly happen? And so as a result, it was just sort of this ridiculous date. She's not ruling on things that she should have and could have ruled on months ago. She's making these just rulings that are just outside the law that make no sense whatsoever, like she did in the beginning of this when she appointed a special master to go through the search warrant, and then she got reversed on that. And then the other real big misstep that she did about the jury, asking people to basically asking the sides to come up with hypothetical jury instructions based on a hypothetical that made no sense. And she was sort of like, it was just this these very weird decisions that she's done. And she just really seems to be out over her skis. She does not know what she's doing. There's no reason this trial should be in the posture that it's in. There's no reason this couldn't happen before the election. And so she finally today, May 8th, did an order setting a set of pretrial deadlines and hearings. And she said, following the court's order prior, to setting substantive pretrial deadlines, the court hereby establishes a second set of pretrial deadlines to manage pending discovery, disclosure, motions before the court, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She then gives a chart of all these different a hearing on May 8th, a resolution of something on May 20th, a non-evidentiary hearing March 22nd or May 22nd. On and on and on. And then the SEPA Section 5 notice to all defendants for June 17th. And she basically gets to July 10th, 2024, the Special Counsel SEPA Section 6A defense reciprocal discovery deadline. And then she gets to, again, July 22nd, another SEPA Section 4 hearing with a status conference also on July 22nd, 2024. And basically said the court also determines that finalization of a trial date at this juncture before resolution of the myriad and interconnected pretrial and SEPA issues remaining and forthcoming would be imprudent and inconsistent with the court's duty to fully and fairly consider the various pending pretrial motions before the court, critical SEPA issues, and additional pretrial and trial preparations necessary to present this case to a jury. The court therefore vacates the current May 20th, 2024 trial date and associated calendar call to be reset separate order following resolution of matters before the court consistent with defendant's right of due process, the public's interest in a fair and efficient administration of justice. In reaching this decision, the court has fully evaluated the parties' positions and reviewed the procedural posture of this case in light of the pending motions. And then, she goes on and on and on about all the various things, the court's evaluated various statutory factors. So the time under the Speedy Trial Act is hereby told, meaning press pause, stop, up until the July 22nd, 2024 date to permit adequate time for hearings and adjudication of substantive pretrial motions, discovery, and SEPA. And then she essentially puts it over forever. I mean, she literally doesn't set a trial date because it's imprudent to set one at this time because there's all this stuff to be done. I mean, it's very strange. Other judges, in fact, most judges, Judge Merchan in this particular case, in the current trial, they set a trial date and you work backwards from there. And usually you can say, okay, it's going to take 6 months, or it's going to take 8 months, or it's going to take a year, or it's going to take, you can always move it and change it. But at a certain point, you should be able to set a trial date. Why 12 days before the date that was set for trial? I mean, like she did. She set May 20th for trial, but 12 days before she suddenly realized that, no, this can't happen. There's all these other things. I mean, she is slow walking everything. She won't even set a trial date. I mean, it's like the trial is going to be never. I mean, I actually don't understand what she's doing here. Either she's just, trying to help Donald Trump because he appointed her, or she's totally in over her head because she's a baby judge and doesn't know what she's doing. But this is just, I don't understand. It makes no sense. And yes, I shook my head because this Mar-a-Lago documents case is definitely not happening before the election. And frankly, if Donald Trump loses or wins the election, the case is going away forever. So Jack Smith has not done a motion to recuse her. He could have, I think, a couple of times. And I don't know that this is something that you could add to the list of reasons why she should be recused. But at some point, I do think they have to make that motion. She clearly cannot handle this case. I mean, it's just outrageous.
Yeah, and I used to think it was maybe baby judge, but then I did a hot take about her going regularly to undisclosed trips paid, ultimately by the founder of the Federalist Society, to George Mason University and Antonin Scalia Law School, along with all the other Federalists, to listen to seminars on woke law and basically attacking the Democratic agenda. It's one thing to be a Federalist. It's another thing, while you have active cases in front of you, including one involving Donald Trump, to go to undisclosed boondoggles at $10,000 or more, paid for by Leonard Leo, and the Koch brothers. I'm sorry. I just like my judges differently. I like them to be above the law, in the sense that, or above human greed, I guess is the better way to put it, and that the law is blind, and that's not the case. I mean, she should go out of her way not to have entanglements like that, but she doesn't, and so we are where we are as we expected. And I agree with you. I've been calling for Donald Trump. Sorry, I've been calling for Jack Smith to go after her legitimately to the 11th Circuit and ask for her to be reassigned and have a new judge reassigned to the case. And I don't know what they're waiting for. They might as well, as you said, they might as well. It's not. She's done everything she can to delay this case. It may not be her intent, but you have to eventually, when so many things like this go against the government, and ultimately she pulls the rug out from under it and says, as I joked, what idiot allowed all of these deadlines to pass without, resetting them, or things that should have been done 6 or 8 months ago or a year ago? What idiot did that? And, it's the judge. And then for her to say, well, we just can't get this case right. Yeah, well, no crap. You did it on purpose, is the part that we're trying to get to. We'll see what happens. I mean, I would do it. There's no downside, try for it. Go to the 11th. I think they're chomping at the bit at the 11th to take her on and maybe replace her. And this would be a great time because this case is at a stalemate. She's painted herself into a corner. She's doubled down on bad rulings to justify those bad rulings, everything that gives grounds to remove the judge. So, but Jack's got to do his job with his team, and I'm sure they're thinking about it. We're not giving him an idea they haven't thought of, and we'll follow it. So, welcome back. We don't blow smoke or sunshine on the network nor on Legal AF. We give it to you straight so you can make your own decisions. Lawyers talking about things at the intersection of law and politics that they know what they're talking about. How refreshing. Join us on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here. You're here already. Free subscribe to the MeidasTouch network. Get them to 3 million subscribers free, all free, and as we lead into the election. And if you like that kind of show, join us Wednesdays, Saturdays, 8 p.m. You'll find out why we call it Legal AF. I think you can now figure it out from that last report. And then if you know all about Legal AF, you're already part of our audience. We really thank you for being along with us. Take that clip, though, send it off to people in your life and say, hey, Legal AF, I'd like you to join. I think you'd really like it, and maybe they'll become part of what we're doing here. So until my next hot take, till my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popok reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.